What's up, y'all? Happy Sunday. It's your boy Hendrick. We back with another one. I wanted to do a quick react. Well, it's not going to be quick, but I'm going to react partially to the recent Kendra G podcast. She had one of her good friends on here, Itica Gamble, I believe is her name, who is married. So they're calling this episode Advice from a Wife. So they're going to touch on a few things when it comes to relationships, dating, things of that nature, and just a relationship dynamic as far as gender roles go. So I want to see what this woman here has to say who is married. So I'm sure she's going to have maybe some things that kind of differ from the beliefs of Miss Kendra G. So we're going to get into it, man. If y'all new to the channel, you already know the vibes. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you already subscribed, appreciate y'all for sure. Just hit the like button for your boy. Appreciate it. Share the content. And yeah, man, we're going to get straight into it. And fair use, y'all. I'm going to react to maybe 20, 25 minutes of the episode. Let's go.
To this day, people still talk about my Kevin Samuels interview. Like, to this day, right? May he rest in peace, not trying to, I don't play with people that pass on.
Yeah.
But I remember in that interview, he really got upset with me because he really wanted me to tell women, you must have children by a certain time. Mm-hmm. And the reason I wouldn't just say, yes, he's right, because at that time, during that interview, you were pregnant with your first child. And how old were you?
I was 40 years old, and I had her when I was 41.
Yeah, so you were pregnant at 40, and you guys were married at that time, right?
Well, we got engaged, and then I got pregnant, and then we got married, and then we had her.
Right. But what's crazy is you guys got engaged not because you were pregnant. You didn't even know you were pregnant. You just got engaged.
We got engaged. I mean, it was time. We had been together for 5 years.
Right.
So it was
okay.
like, okay, let's, it's time.
Okay. Well, I'm happy you brought that up because we're going to deep dive in that. But that's the reason why, for the backstory, why I wouldn't just say, yes, you need to have children by a certain age, because I witnessed your journey. Like, you literally was pregnant at 40 and had a baby at 41.
Naturally, also.
Naturally.
Which is, honestly, I do like to also say that it was a little bit divine intervention because I had never been pregnant before in my life.
Right.
I had never been pregnant.
Okay.
So to have gotten pregnant at 40 years old with my, soon-to-be husband, it really was like the stars just aligned and God got involved. It was a blessing.
No, I think so too. Because you wasn't even pressed to be a mom.
No, I was happy.
You're like a great, here's the deal. She's such a good mother. Like, I almost can't even, I can't even almost remember the days when you were not a mom, because you're a really good mom.
Thank
you
you.
enjoy being a mom. This is why sometimes I feel like, I know, listen, it's not a lie. When you get older.
I will say this. Shout out to this woman here for having kids later. I think the problem is, what if you want to have, and shout out to the late, great Kevin Samuels. I think the issue is, what if you want to, because typically when people have a family, they want to have more than one kid. So it's better to start earlier in life. It's better for a woman to have kids earlier in life instead of later in life. In case the man that you're with wants to have multiple kids, why not start early, get it out the way? That way, longer life, raise the kids, you can watch them grow up. You're still nimble. You still have the ability, if you want to have more kids, you can. The thing with having kids later in life, in your 40s, is, how many kids you going to be able to pop out? You're going to have, what, one? And then that's pretty much, typically, most of the time, it's one and done. You're not going to have multiple. So, typically, and Kevin Samuels would preach having more than one kid, like having multiple, having a brother and sister, having that child have a sibling. So he did preach that in a few of his videos. So just wanted to shed some light on that.
It's becoming more complicated to have children, but the blessing when you get older, you already lived your life.
Yeah, period.
You already lived your life. You're not mad at your child. I could be in Jamaica right now if it wasn't for you.
All of that.
We did all the things.
That's not true either. You're always living your life first and foremost. I don't agree with that. There's people in their 40s. When you haven't really lived your life at 40s. For most people in their 40s and 50s, their life is honestly just beginning because they put in the legwork in their 20s and 30s to have the ability financially to travel and see the world and create memories. So I don't agree with that. It's better. It's if you're gonna have kids, I always believe kids in marriage should be younger. And as a woman, you should be looking for your husband, potential life partner in college. That's the best time. It's just as you get older, it's gonna get harder and harder. We already see what the world looks like.
I see people online, they're like, why would you have children older? Like, it's so strange when I see it. Like, people will say, or women will say, I'm in my 20s, I couldn't imagine having kids in my 40s, or I'm in my 30s, I couldn't imagine waiting until I'm 40 to have kids. And it's like, 20-year-old me, 20-something-year-old me with a kid, absolutely not. She was not ready.
Girl, we was on plane.
Oh, listen, outside. Okay, 30-something-year-old me, she was not ready.
The problem with this mindset is because she's an outlier. She's an outlier. So most people in their 20s and 30s she was Kendra G's friend. I'm sure they lived well. They still live well. Most people don't live like you guys. So as you get older, your body having a newborn in your 40s, most women won't have the energy to do so. Most women want to travel and live their life. They want to be out of that, phasing out of that. Their kids grown and gone. They don't want to be with a newborn. It's not ideal. I know she's probably, the outlier to the rule, but I do advocate for people settling down younger in life as opposed to later in life.
God knew what he was doing. He was like, sis, you need a few more years to get your stuff together.
But you know what I love about that, though? And this is what I've learned in hosting my dating show. Life is really not one size fit all, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're 20 years old and you're ready to become a mom, no shade. Like, that makes sense. But if you're not ready, I'm a big believer in, and I get so much help from this online, but I will never change this. I will always tell women to freeze their eggs because it will just buy you more time.
You get hell for telling people to freeze their eggs?
Oh, girl, you understand these internet streets be like,
oh my God,
they be trying to comfort me in my frozen eggs, baby child.
That is the smartest thing you can do as a woman who has, in my opinion, who wants to have children but has yet to find their life partner, is to freeze your eggs.
Right.
My thing is, though, if you didn't find your life partner in your 20s and 30s, what makes you think you're going to find them later in life? I mean, Kendra's been in these circles with high earning, high status individuals for quite some time. What are we waiting on? Freezing your, it's not, I don't know. I'm not an expert in that. It's like you still want to find a suitable partner. You're in your 40s. When is that going to happen? There's no guarantee that it will. So these free frozen eggs that you're paying to do, mind you, it's a service to get that done. If it never happens, what's the alternative? You'll just have frozen eggs and nothing to show for it. I'm talking about waiting later in life. No, if you didn't get, and mind you, Kendra's not in her early 40s. She's closer to the end of her 40s. So when is it gonna kick in? When is she gonna find that partner? I don't know when that's gonna happen. I don't see it happening. Been around these high net worth individuals and it's still nothing is happening. She was in a relationship, it didn't work out. Like, what's the alternative? When are you gonna find that guy? You can freeze all the eggs you want.
Smartest thing you could do.
Yes, because
a lot of companies, their insurance will cover it, so it's essentially free. It's the smartest thing you could do.
Yeah, even though that wasn't your experience.
No, I didn't.
You didn't have to go that route, but I love that you still support it.
Yes.
Because listen, life, like I said, life is not one size fit all. So you might meet Mr. Right at 25, or maybe you'll meet Mr. Right at 42, and at least you have your frozen eggs if you want to pursue motherhood still. So
the problem is Kendra G's not 25 or 42. She's older than that. And like I said, man, what if that guy wants more than one kid? All you got is one kid for me? You may find Mr. Right. Like, I got news for people, man. It may be a shock to some. It's not to me. Most people will never find Mr. Right. Most women won't find Mr. Right. Most fellas, you guys won't find Miss Right either. Most people are going to be single and stay single for the rest of their lives. I'm just letting you know what's happening. It's happening already. This Mr. Right and fairy tale fantasy stuff, we have to have a certain level. Let's be realistic. We already see what's going on out here. Relationships are dwindling. It ain't happening like that. And that guy that you want, I mean, he's going to want to have kids with a younger woman. He just is. Most of the time, he is. So it's going to be, there's obstacles here that isn't being addressed, that they're just glossing over. Like, this woman here is in her mid-40s. At what point does this dream of hers become folklore? You know?
I will always, I'm going to look right at the camera. If you know you want to be a mom one day, freeze your eggs right now. Now, yes, it's going to cost you a coin, but you buying expensive purses, you going on trips. This way, it will give you an opportunity to not be rushed when you meet a guy. So I'm never going to not tell him to do that.
I just don't think there's a downside to it if you want to have children one day, but you haven't found the person that you want to share your life with. That's
right. I love it. Okay, so let's talk about a couple things, because this episode is called Advice from Life. And something you said, it wasn't one of my questions, but I think it'll be good to talk about because you're obviously married, but before you got married, you and your now husband lived together.
Yes.
And you mentioned you guys were together for 5 years before you guys officially got married. Now, some people will say, why did you wait too long? Maybe you shouldn't have moved in. Like, what are your thoughts on living with the person before marriage?
I think it's fine. I feel like if you live with someone, you really get to know them.
Right.
And
I agree with her, but I'm going to let her cook before I add further context to why I agree.
Personally, if you wait until marriage to really get to know the person in that way, it's just a different knowledge that you get when you are living under the same roof. You can, but for me, I think I was like 36 when we moved in, and I had all my stuff. He had all his stuff. So it wasn't like I needed a place to stay. It wasn't like he was trying to convince me and put me in this situation where I was doing something I didn't want to do. We just were spending so much time together. It was like, why are we paying 2 rents? Like, really, it just didn't make sense.
Right.
Like, either you're at my house or I'm at your house. Why are we paying 2 rents? It was that simple.
Did you think that moving in, because I hear this at times, moving in makes him comfortable, and then it's like now he has no reason to get married or propose because he already has you in the home, and it's like you're getting the wife benefits without literally being married. So what would you say to that?
I think that is a personality type.
Okay.
If the person does not want to get married, they don't want to get married. It's not because they moved you in and now they don't have a reason. Like,
I agree with that as well. Man, she cooking right now. Shout out to her, man. Itica Gamble, man. She cooking.
I don't want to get married to you anymore, right? Maybe they did one day, and then a couple months went by, and they could have learned some things about you living under the same roof that was like, oh, I don't know if this is the woman that I want to spend the rest of my life with. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think we can make choices and our minds can change.
Right.
So if something goes down while y'all are living together and, minds change, that's not that big of a deal to me.
Right,
You know, maybe
right.
someone else might be devastated. Like, oh my God, I moved all the way. You know, I moved in here. I got rid of my place. But I'm going to also say when I moved in with him, I Airbnb'd my apartment for a year.
Okay.
So I didn't just break my lease and, you know, have nowhere to go. I did give myself a year just in case. I
Okay.
did do that.
Okay. So if things didn't work out, you could go back to your apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's smart. Thinking ahead. She said something that was very important, man. Yes, I also agree. If you really want to get to know a person, live with them. Live with them. Live with that partner before you go all the way. You guys thinking about marriage and settling down, live with that person for a year. See if you guys can even stand one another. You won't know that person in and out really until you share the same space with them. And then say assess and then go from there. I think that's smart. She also said said something else that I agree with. If a man want to marry you, it don't matter the circumstance. If he believes in marriage and wants to do that, and he wants to be with you, he gonna be with you. Period, point blank. Whether you live together, you don't live together, there is no one size fits all when it comes to relationships. You do what's best for you guys and what you guys are trying to build together as far as relationships go. So yeah, if a man want to marry, he gonna marry you. Whether you live with them, you don't. I'm an advocate living together. Live together before y'all get married, man. Live together for a year. She says, hey, she gave it a year. She didn't break her lease. She Airbnb'd it to see if it worked out. And if it don't, she go her separate way. He got his crib, and that's that. It logically makes sense. So that's just my 2 cents on it. Let's continue.
I didn't even know that.
I sure did, girl.
I didn't even know that. Like, look, I'm learning things about you. Now, let me ask this. Did you guys talk about marriage? Did you know that marriage was going to be something that he wanted? Because what I love about her husband, BG, he's like cool, right? BG is like, BG's my N-word, if I can say it like that, right? I think all of your friends love your husband, and BG gives it to us real. He going to tell us he's a real, like, he's not no punk, like he a real one. That's the way to say it.
Yes.
Your husband's a real one.
Yes.
So do you feel like, did y'all talk early on about marriage? Like, were you like, because I think 2 things could be true, right? Mm-hmm. I think if you do want marriage and this guy is saying, because there's a string along thing, and he's just making it seem like he's gonna marry one day, but potentially never. Mm-hmm. And then there's a guy that's like, no, I want to get married to you. I just got to put some things in place.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was very clear within the first year of us dating that he wanted to be married.
Okay.
And he wanted to marry me. He had been married before.
Okay.
And I think, you know, some people, I don't know what the opinions are, the general opinions, but I do think that a man who's been married before, he at least is open to marriage. Mm-hmm. Because there might be men out there who will tell you they want to marry you. They've never been married before. They're men of a certain age. I would kind of give a side eye like, are you sure? Because why take you this long? I'm so wonderful. I don't really think that. I think it's really on the man.
Right.
So because he had been married before and we talked a lot about his first marriage and he believes in marriage and he wanted to be married again and he wanted to marry me, you know, I believed him.
Right. I think that's, you know, one thing I've learned in hosting my show, and there's so, I mean, for 5 years of talking to single people, I have learned so much. And something you said is so true. Like, a man who wants to get married, that's in his cloth, right? Like, and on my show in particular, when I meet when men who are, I can tell the men who are very serious about getting married. And a lot of times it ties to children because they're ready to start their legacy. So at that moment, they're really looking for a life partner because they want to really start life with that person. I think there's some men who just like being in relationships. I think BG was that kind of guy.
He is definitely a serial dater, serial monogamous, like, yes, relationship.
And I think if you're dealing with a guy who's never had a girlfriend, that is a sign. Like, he doesn't like having a girlfriend. He's okay with just dating with women with no time.
That does not only apply to men. I tell people this all the time, man. You gotta understand a person's track record, man. If they're a serial dater, they haven't been in any long-standing relationships, the chances of them, you being the the needle in the haystack, the diamond in the rough to convert that individual, it ain't happening like that. It's not. If that person, man or woman, they don't have a history of dating, they don't have no real relationship experience, that's not someone I would consider being in a relationship with. It's not gonna work. Typically, those who are believers in relationships and have been in long-standing relationships, those are the people that typically will do better in relationships and will put in the grunt work to make relationships work, especially if they've been in long-standing ones. So I that part I agree, but it's not applicable to any gender. It's both.
This isn't necessarily a judgment. It's more of a get the insight, because you can waste your time with the guy if you know marriage anyways is for real what you want. Then if you're dealing with a guy who ain't have a girlfriend in 10 years, he probably okay with how he living.
Yes, for me that would be a red
Facts.
flag. Right. I didn't have a girlfriend in 10 years.
So do you think, would there have been a time limit for you, like, had you guys never gotten married? Because you said it was like around 5 years when we proposed. Would you have got to a point if everything was going great, y'all live together, you guys they're literally best friends, like they literally are best friends, they do everything together, would you had left that relationship if he did not propose?
I think so.
Really?
Yeah, okay. Because marriage is something that I wanted, and because he told me that that's something that he wanted, I would have felt deceived. Like, even though we dated for 5 years, he never wavered that he wanted to marry me. Okay. I wasn't getting, mixed signals. It just hadn't happened yet. Right. And a lot of it is, all sorts of things, financials. I feel like we just were just having so much fun. Sometimes time just goes by and you're like, oh my God, it's been 3 years. Like, how does time go by that fast? And also, I wasn't really pressuring him. Right. I wasn't like, so when are you going to propose? So then he probably was like, well, she's good, so we're good. You know what I mean? But eventually, I probably would have ended it if we didn't get married.
Okay. Yeah, I think, I'm on the fence with that, because I agree with you. One thing I will say, and I think about this, like, all of my friends who are married, like, y'all standards, that's why it's almost like just have the standard, because my friends who are married, their standards are like so non-negotiable, and they're all married. Like, it's like either it's this or that or it's nothing. I'm good type of vibe. But I feel like sometimes you might have a really awesome guy who, for whatever reason, like, doesn't believe in marriage, but shows up for you potentially, in the manner of what a husband would do. That's why this is why I say life is not one size fit all, because you may leave a good man and think that, okay, because we didn't get married, and then you're just potentially could be single and might not meet a guy that's treating you that great. But it's such an individual scenario.
If marriage is important to you, I think everyone should at least give themselves a chance to get what they want.
Right.
So if I want to be married and marriage is important to me, then I need to date to marry.
Right.
If it's not as important, but having a life partner, someone to share your life with, it doesn't have to have any labels. You don't have to sign the contract or go in front of a judge or any of that. Then it was fine.
Right.
Don't get married.
Right.
Thank you. I mean, my God, I've been saying the same thing. Like, align yourself with people who are on the same wavelength and same frequency as you. If you want to get in front of the judge, you want to sign that paperwork, get with someone who also wants to do that too. If that ain't important and you looking for a partner, someone to do life with, who's going to treat you like a husband, just no paperwork, something more spiritual, then do that. Do what makes you happy. Do what's best for you. Just because a man doesn't want to get married or a woman don't want to get married doesn't make them any less quality or make them any less qualified to be that husband-like or wife-like fixture in your life. So, hey, man, I agree, man. She cooking.
It's so interesting because she's dressed so conservative today. I said, girl, you got a blazer, girl.
It's like advice from a wife. I mean, I'm trying to look all,
No, but you also told me, you said, well, Brian, he likes this.
He does. My husband has a sense of fashion, and he tells me what he likes and what he doesn't like, and he liked this.
But listen, I like that because when you said that, I said I want to talk about that. Do you think a woman should take in consideration how her man would like her to dress?
Should she take into consideration? My advice to a friend, okay, would be yes.
Yes.
Because you're representing your partner.
Okay.
And vice versa. If I'm walking into a room and I look a certain way, they're looking at me and they're looking at the man that I'm with, and they're judging us. They're making some analysis, right?
Right.
And if my husband or my man wants me to dress a certain way and I'm okay with it, it doesn't bother me. I don't feel like it's asking too much, or putting me, in an uncomfortable position, then I'm totally okay with it.
Yeah.
Because my belief is this is because, you want your woman to look a certain way. You want to be like, hey, look at my girl, and you're proud and you're showing her off, and that's okay.
Right.
I'm okay with that.
Okay. No, I like that answer. I think I agree with the answer too, because when you are in a relationship, you should just consider your partner, right?
Yeah.
And
Stop it right there. I agree. I'm agreeing with this woman. Yeah, I've said it in past videos. Ladies, if you have a man that you respect and love, and you value his opinion and what he says matters to you, when you get in a relationship, it's no longer about you. It's no longer about self. It's about the commitment and bond that you're forging and the journey that you're forging with that individual, right? So when it comes to how you look when you step out of the house, it's no longer how you dress is no longer a reflection of you. It's a reflection of your spouse, your boyfriend, whoever, and not just him. So, fellas, it's the same thing. It's the same thing for you guys. When you leave the house, how you dress matters too. Not only yourself, you're a reflection of your woman as well. You're a reflection of being a man, a leader in your community. You're a reflection of your upbringing, your family, your friends. All of that matters. Take pride in how you are perceived appearance-wise. Same thing, ladies. How you dress matters, because how you dress can positively or negatively affect your partner as well. So, I agree.
Let's go to social media because I got so many questions. Well, no, before I go to social media, let me ask this question because, and I was, when you're such good friends, you try to figure out what can you say, what can you not say. But I think you're okay with me saying that you don't pay bills. So
Not at home.
Not at home. Yes, your husband takes care of the bills at home.
Yes.
You guys own a company together.
We own a company,
yes,
and
okay.
so that part I am financially responsible for our company.
Okay.
But in the home,
no. Okay. Now, with that being said, so since your man is 100% a provider in the home, which I hear all day, every day on my show, do you think that should be every woman's requirement? Should she require that her man is 100% the provider?
No, unless it is important to you.
Okay.
Now, I would be in a situation where things were 50-50 potentially. I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that. But that's not the man that I married. So my husband, when we got together, he's like, I take care of all the bills without you. It's all done. And now I'm bringing you into the situation. I don't need you to give me anything because this is already how I'm going to live, with or without you. Now, do I buy groceries? Of course. Do I, chip in here?
I agree with her. Let me let her continue. I agree, though.
Here and there. I don't, yeah. There's no, and if it comes down to it, if I ever have to take over any bills, any expense, I'm more than happy to do it. But it was just kind of like, this is already being paid.
Right. Again, I quote you so.
Amen to this sister, man. It sounds like she has a great union with her husband, man. I love her energy. She's calm, chill. She's very decisive with her thoughts, but she thinks before she speaks. This woman here is a gem, for sure. I agree. Fellas, if a woman is moving, if you're paying the bills by yourself, right? If a woman is moving into your household, if she wants to contribute, I'm sure she'll pay groceries, or she wants to contribute. She shouldn't be responsible for bills that you are already paying. I don't agree with that. Tippa and fellas, you should never move with a woman to her place. She should always be moving to your place. That's just my opinion. She shouldn't have to pay bills because you're already paying those bills either way. If she want to contribute, now she can contribute, help alleviate. She wants to contribute any way that she can. She's gonna contribute. She's gonna cook for you. She may contribute with the groceries. She's gonna clean, alleviate some of those duties from you. So she's already providing value in that sense, right? Oh, at the end of the day, though, I think people should do what's best for them in whatever works in the dynamic of their relationship. That's what they should be focused on, not what social media, what their friends think, what their family members think. It's not about them. It's about what you and your partner, what you guys decide is best that will help you both. Like whatever decision that you make has to be beneficial for both parties. That I'm an advocate for. If it's not beneficial for both parties, then what's the point? You guys, when people come in a relationship, there should be value on both sides. Otherwise, don't get in a relationship. If you guys are getting in relationships where you guys aren't equally yoked and there's not value on both ends, does the value have to be equal? No, not necessarily, but there has to be value on both ends. That both parties have to be an asset in some fashion. If one or both are liabilities, the relationship will crumble. There is no foundation. So I agree with this woman. I'm going to stop it right there. Like I said, I was only going to do a portion of it. I may touch on some more things. I may drop a separate video and, kind of react to some other things that they talk about, later in the podcast. So I may do that later tonight. But let me know your thoughts on just what you've heard thus far, and just if you agree or disagree with my viewpoints, let me know. I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys had a blessed Sunday. Get your prayers in. Hope you guys went to church. Get in the gym. Get your mind, body, spirit, and soul ready for the work week that is ahead. It's another chapter that's going to be written in your lives. So I appreciate you guys. And like I said, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. You're effing with your boy. Help your boy out. And yeah, man, Godspeed, God bless. And we'll be back later with another video. Peace.